What up, everybody? It's your boy DFS Up North here with a late edition of the 10 under 10 DFS Army podcast, where I tell you my 10 favorite plays under 10% owned on FanDuel and DraftKings. Let's just get into it here. Why is this bright light in my face? That's a little better. Still, I feel like my light is right in my eye today. Maybe we can turn it down a little here. There we go. That's a little better, everybody. I hope that you've had a fantastic week. I apologize for getting this one a little bit late for y'all today, but it should be a good one. We're going to start on FanDuel today. There's a ton of value this week. There's a ton of chalk, and it feels like one of those slates, guys, with the totals kind of all in those mid-40s, that it feels like it's one of those slates that you're just like, yep, this is how it's going to go. All right. And I'm here to tell you that that's not how DFS works. Maybe it does this week, but I feel like we are getting some groupthink, some big groupthink in certain spots. And if we look at, I'm just pulling up the domination station here, which is our optimizer that we have at DFS Army. And I just want to look at a little bit of the chalk, because that's going to tell you what your lineup's going to look like. So right now, or what the most common lineups are going to look like. It looks like people are going to pay down for Michael Wilson. We're on FanDuel right now. Michael Wilson, pay up for Puka. And then you got a Jalen Waddle. Christian Watson getting some ownership. I actually like the leverage kind of on a Jamar Chase at 13% if he's going to be 11% owned or under. Puka, Jackson Smith and Jigba, massive price ownership. Homeboy almost made his way into the top 10 under 10 this week. Running back, again, more of the same. Looks like we're going to go Achane and James Cook. Again, all great spots. Jonathan Taylor, good spots. RJ Harvey. Don't love RJ Harvey this week. I'll just be honest with you here. Yeah, I love that we can swerve a little. And then most guys are going to play Josh Allen or Matthew Stafford or even Trevor Lawrence, who I like Trevor Lawrence a lot this week. Definitely a viable play. Jacoby Brissett is getting some love as well, but 72. There's some better plays here. JJ McCarthy. No, I'm not doing it this week, guys. I've finally given up. I have decided, I actually wrote about it in the 10 under 10 this week, that I have decided that I will, I'm always going to write up and cheer for somebody playing against the Vikings for the rest of the year, so that I have something that makes that game a little bit better for me, because they're terrible. It ruins my Sunday every week. Now, I say this. JJ McCarthy comes out against the crappy Commanders offense or defense tomorrow and studs out. I will be right back wearing JJ McCarthy jersey, purple colored glasses on. I will be right back into it. But today I'm making the statement that I'm going to play guys against the Vikings every single week, so I have something to cheer about. All right, let's get into it, right? We're going to talk about a little bit of a swerve here. And for me, one of those guys this week is Lamar. We are going to see the Lamar game at some point where he styles out. I get we're dealing with the ankle injury, but he styles out, throws for 4 touchdowns, runs for a touchdown, whatever. It's going to happen at some point, and we are just getting to ridiculous ownership numbers here. Against Pittsburgh, secondary's terrible. You don't need to even stack him with anybody. I mean, maybe Andrews if you're looking for that tight end piece, but I'm all over Lamar this week as a one-off and large GPP. And then a guy that has just sort of been quiet, dealing with an injury, looked pretty good last week despite dealing with that fractured fibula. Only threw for, what do I got here? 201 yards, but I do think he's going to be forced to do that a little bit more this week. I do think the Jags are going to sell out to stop Jonathan Taylor. This is a big game playoff wise. I think that we see a good matchup here. I think Daniel Jones could have one of those games like he had at the beginning of the season when he was in the GPP winning lineups in multiple weeks in a row. We're going to keep it going on FanDuel here instead of switching back over to DraftKings. We'll do DraftKings at the end. Nobody cares about DraftKings, right? Just kidding. But everybody does care about DraftKings, and FanDuel doesn't get enough love, so I'm here to give that to you. Piece of this game that no one is talking about, Kyren Williams. Everybody's talking about Puka. Everybody's talking about Michael Wilson. Everybody's talking about whatever his face is. Who am I thinking of? Stafford. Did I say Stafford? Kyren Williams. Everybody's targeting everybody else. Play the 2 TD upside guy in this game. Low end type of play, but the type of play that you can win a GPP with this when it hits. Chicago and Green Bay going to be colder than heck. We are going to lean on the run here. DeAndre Swift way too underowned for the potential of a touchdown at the price. Going to be mega cold. Obviously, we got Manan guy or whatever his name is playing some there, but decent option as well. So Swift is a more of a low end, silly for the millie type of play, but I can see it getting there in this type of not a shootout, but it's definitely an upside spot here. Okay, Justin Jefferson. All right, we need to rewind this thing. Okay, rewind it just a little bit. I said I wasn't going to play Vikings, guys, but it's ridiculous with Justin Jefferson. We are squeaky wheel narrative. We saw with AJ Brown the other week, and obviously we are not talking about Jalen Hurts throwing Justin Jefferson the ball, but I think that JJ McCarthy throws him at 13, 14 times here, and we see a Justin Jefferson smash game at 0 ownership. And, when you look at the FanDuel wide receiver salaries, 98 for JSN, 93 for Puka, right? 91 for Jamar Chase. We get Justin Jefferson at 81 and 6% owned. That's the sort of play that wins you a GPP, all right? That's also the sort of play that if he tanks, your lineup's dead. Those are the risks we take, right? You got to remember my theory, right? Especially if we're trying to win $1 million here, is that you have to be able to be willing to take that money outside and light it on fire. Sometimes that might be better than you playing crappy lineups, but right when you hit, you hit. All right. Deebo Samuel. Again, now here's my guy playing the Vikings. Deebo's a stud. He's gonna go against the anemic Vikings defense, right? Like I'm playing a stud against these guys going forward. Deebo's a smash spot here, just because they use him in so many different ways too. I need to refresh my screen because I had Marvin Harrison Jr. on here, but he is getting obviously out with the appendicitis. He was limited this week. I thought maybe we could get a Marvin Harrison Jr. at low ownership, sort of game time decision type of thing, but he is not. So now when we refresh, we see that we got my boy Pat Bryant in there. Big ball, long ball catcher, 13 targets last 2 weeks. Huge upside type of guy that can, cheapie that can make it for you. And then John Mechie Jr., everybody's going AD Mitchell or Donnie Mitchell. He got all the love in the media. He's getting all the buzz right now, but Mechie's still at 8 targets. He only brought in 4. If he brings in all 8, he is looking at a massive, massive day. We are looking at potentially. All right, here's the other one that I was worried about. I didn't even see. Let me see. We got to see if Kincaid's back yet. We don't have a projection on him, which makes me a little bit nervous. And now I'm gonna have to go on the spot and punt a tight end here. Tell me he's not ruled out. Oh, he's still questionable. Good. Right? So Friday that will be listed as questionable. Yeah, okay. Because that was the idea here, right? Behind this all is that if we get a Dalton Kincaid ruled in on Sunday, this is an elite spot against the Bengals, right? Price down, underowned, super high total. Allen's going to throw him the ball here. It, right? 53-point total. Love it. Talked about how cold it's going to be in Chicago. It's going to be 8 million below. It's going to be windy. The defense looks great. I think the Pack put up a nice score here. I think Caleb Williams, sorry, Bobby. Wow. I think Caleb Williams throws a couple of picks and turns the ball over a bunch. And that is what we got for FanDuel. Now, let's slide over to DraftKings. We're on Lamar again, baby. Let's go. We love me some Lamar. I think this is a great spot for him. And again, the price, the ownership, it just makes too much sense for me. 24-point total, right? You see this 43 and it scares people off. 24, right? Great spot. Trevor Lawrence, I talked about how I liked him. He's a little bit over 10. He's one of the higher owned QBs on FanDuel, but not as much over here. I think T-Log and the Jags have been smashing. The Jags found something here. The Colts pass D isn't great. You pair him with BTJ. You can go Parker Washington. Lots of guys you can play him with here. Okay, Bijan Robinson, over 10% owned. I get it. But it's too far. It's too low on. It's too low on for the 20-point upside or the 40-point upside that he has, right? He can do it all. Love him. We go down a little bit in price, actually a lot of it in price. I really like Chase Brown this week. Ton of usage, had 7 targets last week in Burrow's return. I think that in a shootout type of game here, we see a Chase Brown smash game at 6,700. We talked about Deebo, talked about Kincaid, but we also like Khalil Shakir. Stud off a dud. Had a 0 last week. I think he had 1 catch. But yeah, flopped last week as the chalk. I think he's a smash. Alec Pierce. Guys, we're just going to continue to go back to Pierce. 5 targets last week, 78 and a tutty. Jones's favorite target outside of maybe Tyler Warren. Love Alec Pierce this week. John Mechie, we talked about. Colby Parkinson, another guy in a high total game. Again, this is the way I like to play these weeks is we look at where the chalk is pooling, and then we go with guys that aren't the chalk, right? So that basically what happens then is that game still hits like everybody thought it would, but maybe it's not Devontae Adams. Maybe it's not Puka Nacua. Maybe Colby Parkinson goes for 80 in the TD and nobody plays him, right? So 4.8% owned, super cheap. You can fit a lot of other studs in your lineup. Just a good play, like 5 targets last week. If he scores, he's 100% live for the nuts. And that's what we call correlated leverage, right? So you can play Parkinson in a stack with Stafford and them. But like if you just play Parkinson as a solo piece and he scores, but maybe that game goes off, like you get a piece of that, but everybody else sucks, right? So all this chalk that's up here comes down, your lineup vaults over them. And then we talked about the pack. I'm just going to like smash the Packers. As much as it hurts my heart to do it, I'm going to smash the Packers all week in a cold weather game at home. So all in on the pack at D this week. All right, that is what I got for you guys. I hope this was helpful. Again, I apologize for it being late. We will chat soon. Peace.